Hello everybody, my name is Walter, and this is episode 52 of my Redstone Commands Series. In this episode, I want to cover the random command. Now, with this command, you can actually do two things. For one, you can get a randomized number out of a specified range, which can be used to randomize your minigames. And for the other, you can adjust or reset pseudo-random number sequences, which are, for example, used by loot tables. So you can make sure that every run of a minigame or a dungeon or whatever are always starting at the same point. So everyone has the same chance for the same loot and so on. Next up, let's talk about the syntax for this command. So if you want to pull a random number, you will start with the name of the command random and then either roll or value. If you use roll, the result is broadcast to all players within the chat window. And if you use value, then the random number is only displayed to whoever is executing the command. After that, you define the range the random number is pulled from. Those are always integer numbers, so numbers between roughly plus and minus 2 billion. If you stop there, you have a true random number sequence. You can't reset this, you can't predict this, and it's, well, random. If you follow that with the name of a sequence, which you can define basically as you wish, although it should be lowercase letters, then you have a pseudo-random sequence, meaning that if you reset the sequence, you get exactly the same sequence of numbers again you got the first time. This can be rather interesting if you want to give every player exactly the same chance in your dungeon or similar. The second option for the random command allows you to manipulate those sequences. So if you start with random and then reset, and then you define the sequence you want to adjust, you can set things like the seed, the setting for include world seed, and include sequence ID. So I will come to the sequence in a moment, but let's start with those optional arguments here. Seed is a 64-bit long value and basically is like the world seed of a world generation, meaning if you have the same seed, you get the same sequence, or, well, in the metaphor, the same world generated. Include world seed means that the actual world seed you're currently in is incorporated into the seed during the operation. So if you change the world, the seed that is actually used for your sequence also changes. And include sequence ID means that essentially the name of the sequence is also incorporated into the seed. So even if you have the same world and the same seed, if the sequence is differently named, then the sequence you get of the numbers is also different. So those are usually set to 0, true, and true, but you can change them. Now let's get back to the middle here. So you have two options. You can either reset a specified sequence, and then the sequence is basically reset to the given seed. And if you don't define them, it uses the default settings for the world. If you use instead the multiplication sign, you remove all existing sequences. And if those option arguments are given, you will also set the default settings for the world to whatever you have put in here. So you can manipulate here the loot tables for basically everything with that command. And now let's have a quick look at a few examples. So let's start with random value 1 to 100. So this is a true random number, which is between 1 and 100. And well, now I have 58 and I can repeat this, 65 and 83 and so on and so on and so on. This is a sequence I can't reset, which means this is truly random. It's not predictable in any way. Now let's have a look at an actually named sequence. So here, same range, but the sequence is named PRNG. And if I activate this, so the first number is 74, next number is 99, and let's add a third one is 10. And now let's just reset all sequences. So at the moment, I only have one sequence that's actually active. And if I go back to my PRNG, we're back to 74. And the next one should be 99 and then 10. And you can see this was predictable, although the numbers themselves appear randomized. But as you can see up here, those numbers are different than what I had before. So that is what I mean between a true random number and a pseudo-random number. And with that, we've reached the end of this little episode about the random command. I hope you enjoyed it, and well, see ya!